Welcome back to Days of Our Day. We will learn about the issue tearing Salem apart. The explosive custody clash as Chanel targets baby Tesoro while Leo and Javi brace for heartbreak, with Paulina poised to go scorched earth to tip the scales. High-stakes custody storm. Thursday's drama centers squarely on baby Tesoro, the safe haven infant who has become the emotional epicenter for multiple families, and the spark for a looming showdown. Chanel pushes to fast-track an adoption bid despite low placement odds, while Leo and Javi fear their foster days are numbered and the handoff is imminent. Chanel's resolve hardens. Chanel wants motherhood now, not months from now, so she elevates urgency into a strategy, reframing the adoption as a stability case built around her marriage, work ethic, and community standing. She leans on the narrative that Tesoro needs permanence immediately, positioning herself and Johnny as the most ready-today option, not merely a hopeful someday couple. Paulina's power play. Enter Paulina, who has never met a closed door she couldn't pry open. Chanel asks her to intervene, and Paulina answers with political precision masked as maternal devotion. Expect creative pressure on agencies and city offices, quiet calls to expedite reviews, and a behind-the-scenes roadmap to outflank any competing application before it's even logged. Leo and Javi's heartbreak horizon. Leo and Javi were told from day one that Tesoro wasn't theirs to keep, but emotions don't follow policy. The bond is real and deepening, which is why the looming goodbye hits like a truck. They're proud of the nurturing home they've provided, yet face the brutal truth that foster care is designed for transition, not possession. And the clock won't stop just because love arrived early. A fragile foster bond. The couple's dream, maybe marry, stabilize housing, and file to adopt, collides with practical hurdles, including timeline, scrutiny on Leo's past, and the system's preference for long-established, fully vetted households. Javi's history as a devoted father underscores their capacity, but caseworkers don't grant grace for potential. They check boxes, and those boxes may not favor two men early in a relationship. The trap Paulina sets. If Paulina plays dirty, it won't look messy, it'll look procedural. A surprise compliance audit for foster standards, a last-minute placement reassessment, or documenting any minor slip to justify an emergency transfer for child welfare. She might even engineer an encounter that paints Leo as unstable under stress, then fold that into a formal complaint to fast-track removal. Chanel versus Leo and Javi. Chanel's case hinges on presenting Tesoro's future as a straight line. Two earners, a supportive family network, and no ambiguity about permanence. Leo and Javi's counter is all heart and daily care. The rhythms of feedings, the soothing at 3 a.m., the lived-in proof that the baby already has a home. The question becomes whether the system values continuity of attachment over paperwork speed. Strategy on both sides. Chanel/Paulina. Accelerate home study, petition for priority review citing immediate stability, and keep the narrative laser-focused on Tesoro's long-term security with a married couple. Leo/Javi. Formalize their union, secure housing proof, and marshal testimonials from social workers and first responders who have witnessed their care. Transforming affection into an adoption-ready profile. The legal and ethical gray. Safe haven cases often move quickly once parental reclamation windows close, which favors whichever party is most prepared at that exact moment. This incentivizes gamesmanship. Any delay inflicted on a rival can flip outcomes, which is exactly where Paulina's help becomes the moral fault line of the story. The emotional calculus. For Chanel, motherhood feels like the next chapter she's earned. For Leo and Javi, losing Tesoro feels like tearing out a page mid-sentence. The tragic symmetry is that both arguments are rooted in love, one in future promise, the other in present intimacy, and Salem's institutions may choose based on metrics neither side finds humane. Collateral damage builds. Every maneuver will ripple outward. Johnny must navigate public scrutiny tied to the DiMera name. Javi, a first responder, risks professional fallout if his home is cast as non-compliant. Leo could regress under pressure and sabotage his own credibility. Meanwhile, each filing, each note from an evaluator, becomes ammunition in a war fought in whispers. A trap within a trap. If Paulina engineers a scene, say, arranging a tense public encounter where Leo, already frayed, snaps. She can trigger a safety review that forces Tesoro into interim placement with Chanel under a stability justification. Even if temporary, it creates incumbency, and custody often favors the current caregiver once a new status quo is established. The specter of prior pain. Javi's unresolved grief over his late daughter deepens his connection to Tesoro and could power his resolve, or cloud his judgment at the worst moment. Opponents will characterize his bond as compensatory, but supporters will argue it proves he understands the sacred weight of parenthood in a way few can. Tate and Sophia's shadow. Though not center stage in this clash, the origin truth, Tesoro's link to Sophia and Tate, hangs over the proceedings like a sword. Any late-breaking revelation about biology, intent, or timelines could upend best-laid plans, especially if a court reevaluates where best interests truly lie once all facts emerge. What comes next? If Chanel gains temporary placement, Paulina will press to convert it into permanency before rival petitions mature. If Leo and Javi hold placement, they must move at lightning speed to legitimize their profile, or they risk being overrun by a cleaner file backed by City Hall muscle. The inevitable confrontation. A face-to-face is coming. Chanel, emboldened by Paulina's machinery. Leo, armed with righteous fury. Javi, the steady center who knows how quickly a life can slip away. Expect sharp words about who showed up versus who can show up forever. And don't be surprised if someone records it, becoming Exhibit A in the court of public opinion. The stakes, distilled. This isn't simply custody, it's identity. Chanel asserting the mother she will be, Leo proving the father he already is, Javi standing as the protector who refuses to fail a child again. And in the middle is Tesoro, loved by many and claimed by none. A baby whose fate will likely be decided not by the biggest heart, but by the fastest file. Part 2. Days of Our Lives Spoilers. Will Stephanie and Alex move on? Or are they heading for trouble? Welcome back, devoted Days of Our Lives viewers. For decades, this show has given us stories of love, heartbreak, family drama, and the ever-changing tides of romance in Salem. And now, one of the biggest questions on fans' minds is this. Will Stephanie and Alex take their relationship to the next level, or will doubts and complications stand in their way? On the surface, everything looks picture-perfect. Stephanie Johnson is living her dream life. She's not just making a living. She has become a best-selling author, adored by readers and respected in the publishing world. On top of her professional success, she has a handsome boyfriend who clearly adores her. That man is none other than Alex Kyriakis, a member of one of Salem's most powerful families. By all appearances, love and stability are finally on the horizon for Stephanie. But as any longtime Days fan knows, things in Salem are never as simple as they seem. A proposal that should have been simple. Alex has made it clear that his feelings for Stephanie run deep. He isn't just dating her casually. He wants a future, a home, and a life together. In a heartfelt moment, he asked her to move in with him. For Alex, this wasn't just about sharing a space. It was about commitment, about showing Stephanie that she is the woman he wants by his side in every way. Now, most people might expect Stephanie to be thrilled. After all, what's more romantic than a man who loves you enough to want to share his life, his home, and his heart? But to everyone's surprise, including Alex, Stephanie didn't immediately say yes. She didn't throw her arms around him with excitement or start planning which of her books to put on the coffee table in their new apartment. Instead, she hesitated. Why the hesitation? Stephanie's pause wasn't about a lack of love. She does love Alex. That much is clear. But her hesitation tells us that she's carrying concerns, both practical and emotional, that can't be brushed aside. First, Stephanie explained that she wanted to talk with her roommate, Jada Hunter, Elia Cantu. Now, that might sound like a small issue, but for Stephanie it matters. When Jada's relationship with Rafe Hernandez fell apart, Stephanie stepped in as a good friend and offered her a place to live. They've built a routine together, and Stephanie doesn't want to hurt Jada or leave her scrambling for a new home without notice. On a practical level, of course, Jada is a sheriff. She earns a steady paycheck, and she could manage on her own if she needed to. She could stay in the apartment alone, or she might find her own new place. Money isn't really the problem here. What Stephanie is really worried about is loyalty, friendship, and the guilt of disrupting someone else's life when she's the one chasing her own happiness. The real concerns beneath the surface. But let's be honest. Stephanie's worries about Jada are only part of the story. The deeper issue may lie with Alex himself. Anyone who has followed Alex Kyriakis knows he can be a complicated man. He's charming, yes. He's passionate, without question. But he also has a reputation in Salem as a bit of a wild card. Someone who doesn't always follow through on his promises and who sometimes lets his temper or impulsiveness get the better of him. Stephanie knows this. She's seen it firsthand. And while she loves Alex, part of her wonders what it would really be like to live with him every single day. Would his apartment be messy? Would it smell like yesterday's takeout containers and forgotten gym socks? Could she handle sharing her carefully structured world with someone who doesn't always play by the same rules? These doubts are not just about clutter or cleaning habits. They point to something bigger. Stephanie's history with men. Time and time again, she has fallen for the wrong ones. She has admitted it herself. Her past choices in love haven't always been wise. So while Alex seems perfect in many ways, Stephanie can't help but ask herself, am I about to repeat the same mistake again? A couple at a crossroads. This is where the story becomes so gripping for fans. On the outside, Stephanie and Alex look like the couple that has it all. She's successful, he's devoted, and together they have the potential to build something lasting. But beneath the surface, tiny cracks are beginning to show. For Stephanie, this decision isn't just about moving into a new apartment. It's about whether she's truly ready to commit to Alex on a deeper level. Is she ready to blend her world with his, to take on not just his love but also his flaws? And is Alex prepared to prove to her, and to everyone else, that he can be the kind of stable partner she deserves? These questions linger in the air, and the tension is palpable. One wrong step could send this relationship spiraling, while one act of reassurance could strengthen their bond like never before. What this means for Salem. As fans know, no decision in Salem happens in isolation. If Stephanie does move in with Alex, it will have ripple effects across the canvas. Jada will be left to figure out her next steps. Abe and the Carver family will certainly have opinions about Jada's new living arrangements. And of course, the Kyriakis family, never one to stay quiet, will have their own views about Alex's choices. If Stephanie hesitates too long, Alex may begin to doubt her love for him, and that could open the door for arguments, misunderstandings, or even the arrival of a new rival for her affection. And let's not forget, Alex has never been shy about showing his interest in women. If he feels rejected, his impulsive nature could lead him into trouble. The spoiler question: will they move on together? So, will Stephanie and Alex move in together, building the future that Alex so desperately wants? Or will Stephanie's hesitation grow into a bigger problem that threatens to pull them apart? Right now, the answer is uncertain. For the moment, love is still strong between them, but love in Salem has a way of being tested. Sometimes by family, sometimes by circumstances, and sometimes by fear of repeating old mistakes. What we do know is this: Stephanie and Alex are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to a deeper commitment, the other to doubt and possible heartbreak. Whichever way they go, viewers can be sure that the journey will be filled with emotion, drama, and the kind of storytelling that has kept days of our lives alive for so many decades.